Hi, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Beauty and the Beast podcast. So, this week we're going to be talking about something that I think is quite current at the moment, and that is body dysmorphia. So, I didn't actually plan on filming today. I was having a bit of a funny 5 minutes, and I thought the best thing I could do with this negative situation is actually come over to the studio and film a podcast on this whilst it feels so relevant to me right now. So I am, oh, by the way, guys, I'm so sorry if I sound horrific in this. I'm coming off of a cold, so there might be a few coughs, and I do sound a little bit like Wayne Lineker, so I apologise. I have recovered from an eating disorder, and like I say, and I will always say, I think a recovered anorexic is like a recovered alcoholic. Even if an alcoholic hasn't had a drink in 20 or 30 years, they will still refer to themselves as an alcoholic for that reason, for the fact that if they have a drink, they have that demon, that beast inside them still, and it's tamed. My beast is tamed. However, I do severely suffer with body dysmorphia, and that has been something that I've dealt with for a really long time. Now, when people say body dysmorphia, what actually is it? So body dysmorphia is so much more than just not liking what you see in the mirror. It's being under constant surveillance of yourself and others, and what you see in the reflection is completely different to what you actually look like and present. Now, this does coincide so greatly with eating disorders, yes, but it's much, much more than that. So there's about 1 million people that suffer with borderline personality disorder, with body dysmorphia in the UK, and it's 1 in 3 people fit the criteria of body dysmorphia, and that is both men and women. I'm going to take my sunglasses off because I know I'm going to get so many comments saying, is it sunny in there? But what's important to understand as someone who is working on their body image in general is to not have body dysmorphia or to be recovered. It isn't a loving your body. It isn't just all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, I love my stomach and I love my thighs and I love the fact that my arms wobble. No, it's none of that. It's acceptance, and to know that your body is more than what it looks like. Like, really think about it. Think about what happens, and I know for me, 9 out of 10 times that I've gone on holiday, I saved for a holiday, I buy all the clothes for the holiday, I diet before a holiday, starve myself potentially, undereat, overexercise, and then whilst I'm on holiday, I will spend 90% of the time hating my body. Like 90% of the time. Now, when I'm 80 years old, am I going to look back and think, I'm so glad that I hated my body whilst I was in Turks and Caicos? I'm so glad I hated my body whilst I was in Ibiza. I'm so glad I hated my body when I was in Miami Beach. Or am I going to think, I had the best time with my family in Turks and Caicos. I had the best burger of my life on Miami Beach. You're going to remember the feelings or the memories. And can you even create the memories if you're so consumed in the feelings of absolutely despising what you look like? Now, anyone who knows me on a personal level knows that I would always go, am I the same size as her? Do my legs wobble like hers do? My arms are the same size as her, whoever we walked past. I needed constant reassurance. Not because I wanted them to say, yes, you're small, like, yes, you're the same, or no, you're smaller, or no, you're bigger. I still don't really know what I look like. I scroll back onto photos of me when I was let's say, 18, 19, and I can't recognise myself because in my memories that are stored here, I can't remember looking like that. I can't remember having lips that were out here. I can't remember being that size, especially last year. At no point did I ever feel slim or felt like I looked slim. And when I look back at pictures now, I look like I've got days left. I looked like I had days left. And I think, if I'm being completely honest with you guys, summer is a really difficult time for a lot of people, and I will do a podcast on what summer's like recovered. But I think what happens is we all get a little bit comfortable, don't we, in the winter, and we're enjoying ourselves a little bit more, and maybe we're eating more comfort foods and you're covered up a little bit. So when it starts to get to spring and summer and you're starting to strip the layers off, people become hyper fixated on the way that they look, and maybe the clothes from last year don't fit. Well, do you know what? Buy a different sized pair of jeans, buy a different size shorts. It really isn't the end of the world. As someone who has to buy a whole new summer wardrobe, it's not the end of the world. What body dysmorphia is not is thinking that you feel a little bit chubby. Body dysmorphia is constantly checking mirrors. Every mirror you see, you will check. So whether that's a reflection whilst you're shopping, whether that's taking photos of yourself, whether that's putting your phone on the side and walking back and forth just to see what moves, what wobbles, what doesn't. It's cancelling plans because you don't like the way that you look. A girls' night that you haven't got the right outfit. So you're not going to go because you don't like the way you feel, the way you look. And then the worse you feel, the worse you look. For example, if I'm in a bad mood, like today, like hands up guys, I'm going to be completely honest, I'm really suffering with grief at the moment. And I'm not feeling the best place. And I would say that I've got a spout of sadness. I'm not going to say depression because I've been depressed and this is not it. But I'm having a spout of sadness where I am finding it very easy to just lay in bed and numb myself to the world. This set that I'm wearing fits me. But it sure as hell didn't feel like it fit me this morning. I didn't want to put makeup on today. I put on tinted moisturiser and some blush and mascara and gelled my eyebrows and stuck some lipstick on. And that's what I do most days, but I've really struggled to look in the mirror today. I have not flipped the screens over, so I don't know how this is looking on camera because I can't look at myself today. I feel like my rings don't fit my fingers properly because they feel fat. I feel like my feet have grown. I feel like my fingers are abnormally long. And someone who suffers with body dysmorphia will understand this completely. They will understand this. On a day like today, if I had plans to go out and socialise and see people, I would have probably changed my outfit about 25 times. And I would need constant reassurance. Do I look okay in this? Does this look okay? Does this look weird? Do I look too tall for this? Do I look too short for this? Do my arms look too long? Are my ears sticking out? Is my chin too big? Yes, I know. Is my nose too big? Actually, do you know what? I hate my knees. It's not all about weight. It's about the way you feel. And then the more you fixate on something, the worse it gets. And then this leads me on to surgery. Now, people with body dysmorphia have the highest repeated surgeries. Now, this could be on the same area of the body or different. Now, I didn't really want to talk about this on a public platform episode, and I will go into this, like I've told you guys before, I am starting a Patreon where I'm going to deep dive into things a little bit more and go definitely down a bit more of a therapeutic route. But I have had multiple surgeries. I'll tell you about the ones that I'm comfortable with. I've had 2 surgeries. I've been under the knife twice. One of them was my breasts. I had my boobs done. Now I have had consultations for thigh lift, tummy tuck, BBL, another breast lift, and I was looking at getting fat transfer into my face. So, anytime that I've gone to have surgery done, or when I've discussed kind of like consultations, at no point was body dysmorphia brought into it. Now, I know I hate my boobs. I hate them. And I want them completely different to what they're like. Even though I've had them done, even though I've gone under the knife, I'm still unhappy with them. And I know that I will sit on TikTok and I will look up surgeries day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And I will become hyperfixated and I want something done. And when I want something done, I'm getting it done. So I know I'm not the only person. I know so many girls that completely have a distorted image of what they look like. One of my friends, I won't name her, but she'll know who she is, has had multiple surgeries, BBL, tummy tucks, boobs, and she's so beautiful. Like, she's so beautiful, but she's got no idea what she looks like. Like, she is so Looney Tunes and thinks that she's bigger than what she is, and she reaches out to me sometimes and was like, I think I've got that problem, and I was like, I think you do, but like, I'm here for you, like, if you want it, and everything's light-hearted. And she looked great, but she looked great after the first BBL. She looked great after the first boob job. She didn't need everything else. But that said, with no judgment, because who am I to judge? I've done it, and I'm never ever sat here saying to people, don't do this, don't do that at all. I'm just talking from my perspective. And I know that you can't cut yourself open and put silicone in to like what you've got. There's no amount of Botox you can put in your face that's going to make you hate it less if it's coming from something internal. If you have a wrinkle and that's bothering you, and you want to have a little bit of Botox in your 11 lines to freeze it and get rid of it, do it. Good for you. But what happens when you've got something like body dysmorphia is it will go from this wrinkle, and that wrinkle's fixed, so then you hate your skin. Then you get a facial, and then you hate your chin. Then you have some chin filler, and then you hate your stomach. And it goes from one thing to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. It's an endless cycle. I'm going to talk you through how it literally affects me on a day-to-day. So I wake up in the morning and the first thing I think about is, what is my skin going to look like this morning? So that process of getting out of bed, first thing I do, go for a wee, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm looking at my pores, I'm looking at my under eyes, I'm looking at my skin, I'm looking if I've got any new spots, then I'm disappointed, then I'm angry. Then I go and get dressed, okay? So when I'm getting dressed, completely depends on how I feel. A pair of jeans that I liked yesterday I might absolutely despise on me. Monday, fine. Tuesday, despise. Wednesday, okay. Thursday, crying on the floor. Putting tops on. How do my arms look? Have I got the armpit vagina? Do my arms look old and saggy? Is this tight? Do my boobs look too big? Do my boobs look too small? Is my chest too old? I don't like the way this looks. This isn't my style. I hate this style. Can't look in the mirror. Walk down the stairs, mirror by there. Then I get upset because I catch myself in the reflection. And the way that I look in that mirror is completely different to the way that I looked in my bedroom mirror. So I go downstairs, I'm looking at shoes, and I don't like the way that looks. These jeans are ankle swingers. I hate my feet. I take a photo on my phone. The photo on my phone is completely different to the image in there. I go to my boyfriend. What do I look like? Not my boyfriend, my fiance. What do I look like? Do I look okay? Is his outfit okay? Am I wearing this right? Am I walking weird? And he's just like, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking freak. And I'm like, I know I am. Because it's too much. Because it's constant. And this is going on in my head. Then I get in the car. Then I look in the rear review mirror. And I'm like, okay, my makeup looks awful. Why have I worn this blush today? I look ridiculous. Then I come into work, which is filming. You guys don't understand, unless you do, and I hope you don't, but a lot of people think that I contradict myself because I'm like, you're so insecure, why do you put yourself on camera? I struggle severely rewatching my podcast episodes. Now, before, when Ella worked full time, I didn't edit them. Ella edited the podcast. Now, really sad news, I can't afford at the moment to have Ella filming all of the episodes. I'm filming my solos. So when I'm now editing these, I really have to disassociate myself from watching me, because I look so different from this angle to this angle. And on the day that I film it to the day that I watch it, I will look like a different person. I can't tell you. I don't know what I look like. And the other day I was sent some promotion from Shark to use their Facial Pro Glow, I think it's called, and it's incredible. It's like the best facial device I've ever used. They're not paying me to say this on the podcast. They just sent me it to use and do a video if I liked it. I did like it. Now, when I was filming that video, I was like, oh my God, I can't post this. Look at my skin. My skin's awful. Why did Shark choose me? Shark shouldn't have chosen me. Why have they chosen me to do a video of the facial tool and my skin is so bad? I'm nearly 30 years old. Why is my skin so bad? This isn't normal. This is just me. Then I need to put foundation on it, but you can't put foundation on your skin because it looks awful. Foundation is going to make it worse. And it is this spiral. This spiral. And sometimes the spiral gets so strong that you just don't leave the house that day. And then what I find personally with me is I find it better to put zero effort in, because when I try and put effort into the way that I look and then I still feel disappointed, it's so much harder to accept that. It's like I've actually tried to look nice and I still don't feel nice. So slicking my hair back, putting on some tinted moisturiser and wearing a really... Well, my sister saw me this morning and went, oh, you're wearing your pyjamas. So wearing something like this, I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable if I was here in full glam trying to look good and not feel it. There's something called camouflaging with body dysmorphia, and it's when people try and hide the way they look, and I did that for years. If I am tech enough to work out how, I will put some pictures overlay on this video of me in different camouflaging states. I used to have lips that went out to here. I used to have the biggest eyelashes, the longest hair extensions, and I used to do that because I wanted to hide me. I wanted to hide what I looked like. And the mask that I wore was great because I could find an identity in that, because I didn't know what I really looked like, but nor did anyone else. Not saying that every time someone has lashes, not saying every time someone has hair extensions, they're hiding or they're camouflaging. For me, I did it. And there's another thing where people are constantly picking their skin or fixing their hair to try and constantly perfect. Constantly perfect. And perfectionism is so linked with this, as well as anxiety, depression. It's got a really high suicide rate. Body dysmorphia now has become like a bit of a trigger word. Like the word trigger. Trigger is used all of the fucking time now. So everyone's like, oh, my body dysmorphia is so bad today. My body dysmorphia is so bad today. And I feel for anybody that's suffering with that. But there are bad image days and then there's body dysmorphia. They're slightly different. I know if I'm having a bad body day versus body dysmorphia, because when it's body dysmorphia, it's all consuming, it's obsessive thoughts. I'm walking somewhere and I feel like there's almost a spotlight on me, and I feel like everyone is looking at me, judging what I'm wearing, the way I'm walking, if I'm hunched, my weight, my skin, my height, my smell, everything. When the reality is, nobody really gives a fuck about me. No one is thinking about me as much as I'm thinking about me, because I'm not thinking about them as much as I'm thinking about me. Now, I think these are some questions that you can ask yourself. Have you ever taken a photo of yourself and only seen flaws? How much of your day-to-day life is consumed by your appearance? Have you ever cancelled plans because of the way you look? Have you ever avoided holidays or outings or day trips because of the way you look? Because I think the saddest thing about body dysmorphia isn't about the way that it makes you feel about yourself, it's the way it makes you feel about others. that constant longing to look like somebody else when that other person could be looking at you feeling the exact same way, feeling the exact same way about themselves, and it's the lack. It's the lack of just self-love and this self-obsession again, which is just in the most negative way. I think people think that you can be self-obsessed and it means that you love yourself, but you could be self-obsessed and you could be obsessed with hating yourself. And I find that so bloody sad. And I think it's really sad if anyone right now is connecting with this. I hope this is a podcast that gets absolutely 0 views and nobody understands and nobody is listening to this going, I get it. But I think a lot of you will be listening to it thinking, I get it. I'm there, Annie. I feel the same. Now, just because you feel the same doesn't mean that it's the end of the road and you're going to have to live with this forever, because 90% of people that suffer with body dysmorphia and would fit the criteria in one period of time can outgrow it. And I use the word outgrow on purpose because I think recover is such a strong word, and I think that when people use the word recover, it means that if you have a lapse or a relapse or a trip up, that then it automatically means that you're not recovered anymore, which I personally don't believe. You guys might disagree, but that's what I personally believe. Now, you can outgrow this with growing things like self-love, self-awareness, self-expression, and tools like some therapy, CBD, certain things you can do that will help you. Because we have to separate the thoughts and the facts. And that's one tool that I've learned that I know has helped me so significantly, is the difference between what is my mind saying to me on a bad day versus what is an actual fact. And you'd be really surprised at how different they are. One thing that I've, again, found really helpful is journaling. So I journal on my bad days to try and track what is the repetitive cycle that brings this on. Now, I know there is a few for me. Summer is one of them, and this is my first summer recovered, and I will talk about that on another podcast. And one of them is stress outside factors, because when things are stressful outside, I really reflect that inside, and I take it out on myself, which I think so many people do. And it's one thing that I'm learning. Again, I'm a student of this, not a teacher. Now, you can be recovered from an eating disorder and still suffer with body dysmorphia. Let's get that straight. The difference is my body dysmorphia thoughts don't lead me onto my eating disorder beliefs or actions. I will still eat when I feel fat. I won't exercise for punishment. I'll still go to the event, even if I don't want to. Actually, that's a lie. But that's purely just because I am so bad and I want to fix this so much. At just that anxious feeling of like leaving my house. It's got so bad recently. I don't know what it is. I think I've been around so much death that I've got this attachment now, especially to like my mum and even my dad. Like, I just need to know that I'm near them all the time. I'm so worried about losing them, because I know I am going to eventually. But I think with my auntie passing away, my granddad, my nan getting brain damage, and the other people around me that have passed away, I've just got this, I just need to have them close. Or I need to know that they're accessible if I need them, or if they need me. Which is probably a bit embarrassing to say at nearly 30. People keep saying to me, stop saying that you're nearly 30, but I am nearly 30, and don't you guys remind me in the comments. My God, this isn't about body dysmorphia, but Jesus, if someone didn't have a mental illness and started a podcast, I'd bloody have one after. I know I've just done an episode on the hate comments, but wow, guys, some of these comments are vicious. Vicious. And the thing that surprises me about some of these comments is the people that are saying them. Some of them, like mums and dads and like aunties, posting pictures of beautiful kids and pets and like would seem like quite nice people, and then they're telling me I should go kill myself because I don't look 27. Like, and then finding my WhatsApp and WhatsApping me, and then finding my email and emailing me, and like telling me I need to be RAPED'd as it's the only thing that's going to shut me up. And like, when you think to yourself, what? Like, that's horrific. I hope they don't say that to anyone else. Even when I am suffering with things like body dysmorphia and having bad days, I don't ever let the comments affect me too much. I will let you guys know that. But I do different things. So I will try and put some gratitude into my day. So when I'm struggling, I will then, like I said, journal on the bad days, but I'll also journal on the good days, and I'll go over my glimmers. Like, again, linking it to the people that have passed, that is making me quite anxiously attached to my parents. But also, when you've walked out of a hospital after seeing somebody pass away, each step is like, it's like a rebirth, like a blessing. You're really like, oh my God, wow, I can't believe I get to do this. And I was having a conversation in my mind, well, out loud, but he obviously wasn't in person, with my granddad the other day when I was walking the dog. And I was like, I'll see you soon, granddad. I was like, I'll see you in probably about, my granddad was 68 when he passed. So I'd see him in like about 55 years. And I was like, God, that seems like a really long time. But the reality is it's not. If I'm lucky enough to make it to the age he made it to, that's not a long time. And my biggest thing is I do not want to look back at the holidays, at the moments of my life that I've already lost. So there's two ways about this. You can even look back and think, well, I've spent so much of my life hating myself. This is my pattern. This is what I'm going to continue to do. I've survived this far. I'll just continue. Or you can think, I want to rewrite that. And I constantly want to rewrite. This isn't my identity. I'm not like, hi, I'm recovered from an eating disorder and I've got body dysmorphia. And like, this isn't my identity. It's a part of me, yes, but it's not my identity. I'm a dog mum, that's not my identity. I'm a fiance, that's not my identity. My identity is Annie. It's a big concoction of all of these things that are going to fall into a big soup, which is me. I am this soup. It's all of these things. Every little part of me adds up to who I am today. And there's going to be loads of different things that's going to come my way. At some point, I'm going to be a mum. And then maybe that will be my identity. I can't imagine me making being a mum my full identity. But there's so many things that I am and that I will be and that I want to be. And I don't want to let these bad moments control me, and I don't want you guys to let these bad moments control you. I want you to genuinely do something for me. I do this with my students or my coachees that work with me. Now, please, anyone who's listening to this right now, please, 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 I beg you, email me in your responses to this. Now, I want you to write down someone you love. If you don't want to tell me their name, don't. Or just get a piece of paper, write it in the notes of your phone, just the name of someone you love. They could be dead, they could be alive. It could be famous, it could be a family member, it could be a best friend, it could be a puppy. Anyone that you love, anything that has a heart or had a heart that was beating or is beating, okay? Now, I want you to list, just at the top of your head, 3 things that you love about them. Now I'll give you a couple of seconds while you write that down. Just 3 things that you love about them. Now look at your answers. Do any of those answers comment on their weight? Do you love X because she weighs Y? No. The reason you love that person is probably because of the way they make you feel, their energy, the way they are. They have kind eyes. It's got nothing to do with the size of her arms or her thighs. I love my mum more than anything in the world, and that's because I think my mum's a walking angel. My mum is so strong, and my mum is the most giving person that I have ever met, not just materialistically, but she will give you anything. She'll give you her heart, her soul, her advice, her time, her energy. It's incredible. And that's my mum, and I love her. I don't love her because she lost a couple of pounds or gained a couple of pounds. I don't really give a fuck. As long as she's healthy, I'm happy. Now, the way you feel about that person that you've just written down, you need to try and project some of that into you, and don't be afraid like I was. Self-love isn't self-obsession, isn't a massive ego. It's coming back to yourself. We don't need to find ourselves. We need to come back to ourselves. You need to go back to child you. Did child you give a fuck about what you look like? Little Baba Annie did not care. There's pictures of me covered in spaghetti, head to toe at my nan and granddad's house. First time I fed myself. I wasn't thinking about how many carbs, how many grams of carb was in that spaghetti, if it was wholemeal or not, or was the bolognese cooked with olive oil? No, I was just with my nan and granddad enjoying myself. And that's where I want to get back to. And that's where I want you guys to get back to as well, if this relates to you. Now I'm going to end the episode on this. The opposite of body dysmorphia isn't loving yourself. The opposite of body dysmorphia is not letting it determine whether you live your life or not. Now, if this episode has brought up any uncomfortable feelings in you and you feel like, okay, maybe it's time I need to reach out, please remember that I do coaching, so I can work with you guys if you want to. If you don't want to work with me and you want to just listen to me, then reach out to someone, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, or whether it's a professional, to give you some tools to try and start enjoying your life. That's what I believe we need, is just tools. Just tools. There's not a pill, there's not a tablet, there's not a fix-all that we can take for body dysmorphia. But there's tools that we can learn and live by to make every day just that little bit easier. Now, again, if you've enjoyed this episode, please like, please comment, please subscribe. If you feel like you need to send it to someone, please do that. I am running this, like I've said so many times before, just little old me. There is now no Ella on hand, so I hope the quality is nearly up to scratch with her. But I can't tell you guys how much it means when you subscribe to try and actually build this podcast up into something. And when you like and when you comment and when you watch it all the way through, it makes such a difference. I didn't even know any of this until I got into any of this, so I would appreciate anything. And all of that is free, so I would really appreciate it. So happy Sunday, goodbye, God bless, and I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.